Alright, I figured I'd start today off with going out to about 15 minutes down the road to go pick up some parts. I'm going to try to mount this on my mirror and see if we can do a bit of a driving video. Looks like we got some cops up here. Fortunately, that's where I was going to turn. Got the road blocked off. Anyhow, I was thinking to turn these off. I was thinking I wanted to kind of start doing this like a vlog channel type of thing. You know, not do the vlog challenge where you post a video up every day, but I want to try to do every 2 or 3 days. I've got some other videos too that I can upload if I can't make that 2-day mark. Like the golf cart video. I mean, I've been making videos pretty much every week for the past year, if not more frequent. So, but like the golf cart video was, you know, I didn't have the equipment to film any of it, so I filmed like a month's worth of work because it's not like I have 8 hours a day to go and work on this thing. I have maybe 2 hours a week. So what I'm thinking of doing is doing this more like a vlog style, but in addition to it, post here's some traffic. But in addition to it, post the regular videos. So, you know, vlog all the stuff that I'm doing with the golf cart, but when I get enough clips, compile them together and put them in a separate video. I mean, if you watch the vlogs, obviously it doesn't make much sense to watch that, but if you're not really into the whole vlogging, this type of video, and, you know, you want to just watch the projects, I'll put those separately. Or if you want to go back and revisit how I made the projects, whatever. So I've already put the golf cart videos that are up in a playlist, and hopefully that works out. That way I can also upload those to some forums and whatever else. The other thing I want to do is, I forgot what I was saying now, sorry. The other thing I wanted to do was post, other thing I did, sorry, was I changed my YouTube name from Take It to Matt's Garage and Take It. Basically, I mean, the primary videos, you're gonna have to ignore my wife because they're shitty, but primary videos seem to be heading more towards the audio zone, which makes sense because that's really what I do. But I also like gaming and some computer stuff, so I actually left Take It in the name. And we'll just flip it. But obviously any gaming videos I do are using my username still Take It on those, so that's why I kind of merged. Because I had another channel called Matt Shop, but I didn't really like the name. I didn't really want to keep up with it. And I think Matt's Garage sounds a bit more professional. And I kind of like the name, so. And I also like the name Take It. I mean, you might disagree, but I think it's a cool name. And like Matt's Garage isn't a really good gaming username or whatever. I've also been known as Take It for 2 or 3 years now. So hopefully the video isn't too shaky. It looks kind of shaky on the viewport here. I just got the tripod kind of wrapped around my rearview mirror. Hopefully you can hear me because I'm just using the internal mic. And I've got the heat on. And you can see the wipers are going. hopefully we don't have too many problems. So yeah, I basically want to do like a vlog style channel, and I'll still post everything, but additionally I want to post the other stuff. So that should be cool. I gotta make a new logo and intro and whatever, so I might do a video on that. But we'll see. I was gonna go to the scrapyard today, but unfortunately it's raining. I don't really want to be at the scrapyard in the rain. So that happened. I'd like to apologize for the quality you noticed. I had to turn the quality down to 720p, 30 frames per second. Basically, that could be part of the shape too, but basically, I have 8 gigs internal storage, and I can't seem to find my 64 gig card. I know it's around somewhere, but I just can't find it, so I basically wiped the camera and turned the quality down for this driving video because I don't know really how much it would take. Like I said, it is a 15-20 minute drive. I don't know how much of that I'm going to vlog, but and I don't know if it's better to vlog the road like I'm doing or to vlog myself talking. I thought the road might be cool in case something interesting happens, but if something interesting doesn't happen, then I don't know. But at the same time, it's really interesting to watch my face. So it's all in the trial. But basically, I don't think I put any videos up of it, but back in June or July, I bought a Chinese ATV with a blown motor for $100. And once I just wanted I was going to take the suspension and the wheels and the brakes of the golf cart. But once I got looking at it, I found out that the machine was built in 2011. So I decided to look online for, I pulled apart the motor to confirm what had happened. Basically the piston was all screwed up. Here's the picture right now. And yeah, the piston was all scratched up, the cylinder was scratched up. The piston rings were actually seized onto the piston. And the wrist pin was stuck as well. So I found a rebuild kit that gave you all your gaskets, your cylinder. I didn't actually film that, I should have. But again, I didn't really have a camera or a tripod. So, $100, I rebuilt it, put it all back together. So now I was into this $200 now. And then I went through all the electrical, it was all screwed up. So resoldered a lot of the joints. I cut some of the connectors off because those Chinese connectors are just bad. And I just soldered the wires directly together. One of them which was on the CDI, which I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do that, but what I had to do was cut where the wire plugs in on the CDI, because the little terminals have pulled out. So I just soldered it right to the CDI. I figured, screw it, if I have to change that, I'll just cut the wires off as close as I can, and then do the same thing to the next one. But yeah, it's 2011. I think the engine's a Zongshin on it. There's no brand on the bike itself, so I guess Zongshin makes ATVs. It's 200. It's got 4 speeds, manual with reverse. So it pushes along pretty nice. But anyhow, I guess the guy was trying to figure out what was wrong with it. He didn't know the motor was blown. And he had pulled it apart, cleaned the carburetor and whatever else. And what I think happened is when your idle mixture screw, there's supposed to be a spring that stops it from moving. And the spring's gone. And so I set it a couple times, and then all of a sudden the machine started running rich. And what was happening was the vibrations were turning the screw in. So what I think happened was he fixed the carburetor, left this spring out, and it wound itself in. And then obviously was running too rich for too long and fried the motor. So got it all going, and I was looking for the air filter. I couldn't find one in Canadian Tire. They had a K&N one, but it was like $30. And I ended up having to buy a battery for this. It cost me $100. First I bought just a cheap, and it was still $50 after all your taxes and whatever else, but bought one for $50. And that's the one that's on the golf cart now, because it wasn't big enough for that. It would crank it over, but only for 10 seconds maybe, so I was good. They obviously wouldn't take it back, so I figured it was the perfect size for the golf cart. I was gonna go in there with strong words and see what I can do, but honestly I think it'll fit the golf cart perfectly, because I was gonna need to buy a battery for that anyhow. So I mean that little thing really pushes along. It's 2-wheel drive, chain drive. I don't know if I said it, but it's 200. And I had it on the trails doing 60, 70 kilometers an hour, no problem. I didn't want to go too rough on it because of the new piston and cylinder. But anyhow, couldn't find the air filter. So out of a whim, a couple weeks ago, I messaged the owner, the guy that owned it before me. He said, if by any chance, now this is a few months after I bought it, but just to see if by any chance at all, he had the air filter. And sure enough, he replied back right away, saying, yeah, that he had found the air filter in his shed a couple weeks before, and he was actually going to text me, but he had lost my number. So that's where I'm going now. He said I can just, he found some other parts too. So I'm not sure exactly what's there. But I'm heading back out to his place now to go and pick those up. So like I said, hopefully this video turns out. We're halfway there in views, about a gig and a half. Just do that. So I probably won't vlog on the way back. I'll just vlog when I get home and show you guys what I've gotten from this guy. I don't really know what I'm going to get into today. I might pull a golf cart out of the garage, but I'm not. The other thing was, I don't know what happened, but sometime between last night at 9 o'clock and now, I can't find the keys for my truck. So I'm actually using my spare key right now, which I didn't even know if it would work because I thought it was a chip key. But I guess it's not. Because it's obviously working. And the spare key is not chipped. Definitely, it was a $2 cut key from Canadian. Oh my goodness, I wish this rain would have held off for this video. I might have to go get new wipers. They've actually been broken all year since the about 2 months after I put them on. One of them I gently pulled on. We had like the last snow freeze over the year. I gently pulled on it and it actually cracked in 4 places. And I can't believe that I've been using it all year and it hasn't fallen off. And then the right side decided to crack on its own the exact same way. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm also not sure why we're inclined to do 17 and 80, but that's the way it should go, I guess. So basically, I thought I'd talk about some of the basic things that I went over, or things of why I started this channel, I mean, I don't really upload videos, but I do make a lot of videos, which again, a good reason for starting this whole vlog thing is that if I make videos, you know, I tried a few formats, and YouTube is, for me anyhow, a trial and error process. So I tried the whole, it was a simple project with the green screen video, which didn't really work. I was trying my editing. I made I think it was pretty cool intro to it that shows what you'll need and whatever, but honestly it wasn't really, it got to the point where it wasn't that fun to make, because the amount of editing that, not necessarily that video, but the next video that I made that I never even finished, the amount of editing it required was ridiculous. Because basically you're showing each step. I was kind of doing it Grant Thompson style. I was actually doing one of his projects, but you show each step and you voice over it, and to show each cut, each whatever, especially if it's the first time you're doing this project, is not a very easy thing to do. So, but anyhow, I started making videos when I was like 4 years old. And it seems kind of weird to some people to say this, because I'm more of a quiet person. I don't talk a whole lot in groups, whatever. But I've always kind of been into the whole acting thing. I don't know why. I'm not really good at it, but when I was about 3 or 4 years old, my mom got a new camcorder. And she always had camcorders. Her mom had camcorders, and everybody did back then. And you'd make home videos that you'd never watch. It was a good time. Anyhow, she bought this one that had compact tapes. They were almost the size of a cassette tape. And actually it had a flip-out viewfinder. So she gave me her old one, which had tapes that were about half the size of a regular VHS. And it kept eating the tape, so what I ended up doing, and it didn't have a viewfinder. You could look through the camera, but it didn't have the flip-out design. So what I ended up doing was, actually I'm almost there, so I'm going to resume this when I'll get home. So this is basically the design that I did for the tripod. Now it is kind of loose up there, so I think I need to do something better. But all I did was bent the legs and wrapped around the mirror, and I had you guys sitting just like that. So hopefully that turned out. Anyhow, let's head inside and see what we got. Alright, so we got what I think is actually the battery box. Now, I probably won't use that because I end up making my own tray. Not tray, but... Alright, so he gave me a bag of stuff. I don't actually know what's in here. We got chain guard, which is awesome. The air box, which is what I wanted. And there is a filter inside, which is awesome. What else do we have? Extra piece of chain. So that chain that's on there is actually new then. It's kind of stretched out, so I think maybe he's just got one link too long in there. Armature. Looks like parts of the starter. Actually, it looks like the whole starter. So that's awesome. We got 2 starters for it now. This one, this is probably why he replaced it. It's got a nice gouge in it right there. And this just simply, remember, because I had to rebuild the one that's on it now. That just goes in like that. And then there's a plate that's supposed to be on there. So your cap goes on the back there. And then that piece slides on, something like that. And that's how that works. So yeah, that's what we got. So while I was out, I ended up getting that seat off the Astro van for free. And I just got it kind of strapped. I mean, it's really cockeyed right now, but the low side is probably about how high it's going to have to sit. And the high side is actually the bottom of the bracket hanging just over the frame rail. Which is how I wanted it, but I mean, there's probably 3 feet of space there, so I don't really need that much clearance between the engine and the seat. And if you're sitting that close, you're not, if it's that high up, you're not going to be able to reach the pedals, and the steering wheel would have to be way up here. So that's just not going to work. So what I'm going to have to do, I do need an extra couple inches anyhow. But what I'm going to do is make a bracket that comes off here, and then probably bolt the seat right to it. I don't think I'm going to use this mechanism anymore. So or I do use that mechanism so that the seat can still come off, and put your pin there and another bolt it back here to lock it and release it. But I'm aiming more towards just kind of bolting it down. Maybe put a bolt back here and have it latch at the front. So maybe I can reverse that, I'm not sure. Because I kind of want the seat to flip back into where the box area would be. So this backrest will ideally be back around here. I gotta try and cut that off somehow. It's pretty thick steel, so I don't know what I'm gonna do there, but I'm gonna try and bring that back so that it's flush, get rid of all this, and then we're gonna bracket off of there, and a bracket off of there, or just, yeah, bracket off there and a bracket off there, just so that it sits down a little bit closer, and then there'll be plenty of room for your engine and whatever else. And then of course your dump box will be starting about here and come back. I'll probably change the color. I'll probably get like a seat cover that's black for it, because that's obviously not a very good material to be out in the mud and whatever else with. I'll probably end up shortening it. It's got one seat belt, so I might use that still, I don't know. But I'll probably end up cutting out a few inches in the middle and then just stitching it back together. Just simply because this is, we're pretty good over here, but if we come over to this side, we're about 6 inches too long. So I'd like to just kind of cut some out of the middle, maybe join the 2 sections, or simply chop one of the ends off. It would be this end, So just flap that off there and cut that much off, and then it'll be a bit wider, but it'll be okay still. And that's actually, yeah, if I cut it there, I wouldn't have to cut any metal, it's just foam. And then I guess somehow join this section back on. And then the same on the other side. Or, of course, that would screw up your headrest, so what I'm actually thinking I want to do is, like I said, cut down the middle and join it back together. Alright, that guy who I was at said there's a place in Whitby, which is just up the road. And, and he's got, like, parts for their ATVs, and I know where it is, so, they said he's got all kinds of parts for everything like that, so maybe we can get some golf cart parts. I need to get a tie rod in for that bike, because I'm probably going to be going up sometime this week, so I'd like to stab it in and be able to use it. So I'm going to take you guys with me, but I'm not going to film the drive there. I'll just pull you guys out if anything interesting happens.